just like to read. 1 second I'm a Kunstman, suddenly the Kunst is me. Pop culture was in art, now art and pop culture in me. I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the applause. Turn the lights on. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Give me the applause. Turn the lights on. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Make it real. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Make it real. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Touch, 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 touch now. I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. The applause, applause, applause. Give me the applause. Turn the lights on. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Give me the applause. Turn the lights on. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. Make it real. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, make it real. Make it real. Put your hands up, make 'em turn, turn. All hail the queen. All hail the queen. Here comes the queen. Yes, she's the queen of the north. Here comes the queen. Yes, she's the queen of the north.
Hey! Hey, 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 hey! Hello, Harogate! My goodness me, Harogate, you are looking fabulous this evening. And have we got a spring conference for you? We've got policy motions. Oh yes, we've got a leaders' Q&A. And because Lib Dems really know how to have a good time, we've not got one, not two, no, we've got 3 constitutional amendments. Oh yes. 3 constitutional amendments and 72 MPs. Now, you may hear the number 72 a few times over the next few days, so if you're turning it into a drinking game every time you hear it, please do pace yourselves. So we're in Harogate, the north. And it is definitely the north, whatever Angus, Jamie and Alistair might think about it. It is definitely the north, even if we might be on the wrong side of the Pennines. Sorry, Yorkshire. So I'm chair of the parliamentary party, so I have the honour and the privilege of chairing our weekly group meetings. And let me tell you, nothing says the Liberal Democrats are back like a 30-minute debate on badgers. Now, in fairness to us, Ed said he could remember every single Lib Dem parliamentary party he'd been a member of across 7 parliaments, and every single one had debated badgers. But he said this one right here held the best badger debate he'd ever been part of. It was a proud moment for us all, colleagues. We are the biggest we have ever been in our history. We are the 3rd largest party in Parliament once again, and we are ready to get even bigger. And make no mistake, that is thanks to you. It's thanks to your hard work, your door knocking, your blood, sweat, and those leaflet delivery dog bite tears. It has been a long road to get here, but here we are. And boy, are we making a difference. The eagle-eyed amongst you colleagues may have noticed, though, that not every party is having such a great time right now. On the auto cue, it says start panto mode. So please help me out here, conference. The Conservatives, with their shameful record, led by their leader, Kemi Badenoch, who's doing a great job. There are Panto fans in the auditorium tonight. And if you do enjoy Panto, can I very strongly recommend Willie Rennie at the ALDC Campaigner Awards every autumn conference. The Tories are having a tough time. But after dragging the country to breaking point, after years of sleaze and scandal, they're having a moment of reflection. And they're trying some new ideas. So what are these new ideas? Idea one, the straight talking strategy. Roughly speaking, this says, what happens if we don't prepare our leader at all for Prime Minister's questions and just let her go and really show her charisma? Idea two, the counterintuitive strategy. What happens if, instead of focusing on what people really want and need, we do the exact opposite? We've got Kemi Badenoch saying things like maternity pay is excessive. She suggested the state pension should be slashed. And she said Boris Johnson's Partygate scandal was overblown. I wonder how that's going down on the doorstep for them. And idea three, the very online strategy. Kemi Badenoch has criticised the Lib Dems for being, wait for it, active in our local communities. Doing things like fixing church roofs and not being on Twitter. So it's not just me, that is a massive compliment, right? And the problem is, with the Conservatives, is that they've already forgotten the bottom line. The country has very clearly told them that they are not fit for government. And every Lib Dem here knows they are not even fit for opposition. So the Tories are rubbish, right? That is not new news. So we've got Labour, and they are, well, disappointing, underwhelming, deeply missold. So whatever you want to call it, you just need to look at some of the faces of the new Labour MPs if you want to see how they feel about some of the things they're hearing from their front bench. They look like people who've ordered a pint and watched the bartender drop the glass just as they were about to be served. But enough about the others. Even though we have been firing on all cylinders since July, our mission is far from done. We have victories to build, battles to fight, and an entire country to convince that if you want change that delivers, there is only one party you can trust to deliver it. And that party, colleagues, is us. It is now, conference, it is now my very great pleasure to introduce a Liberal Democrat who managed to turn the strong and stable Tory heartland of Maidenhead into a beautiful patch of Lib Dem orange on the map. Please welcome the Liberal Democrat Member of Parliament for Maidenhead. He is the scourge of big business executives, and he is an all-round top bloke, Josh Reynolds.
Anybody who was at Autumn Conference may be picking up a hint at this point that I quite like Eurovision. Wonder how many points we're getting this year. Thank you, Lisa, and hello, Conference. Now, when I first stood as Maidenhead's Liberal Democrat first MP, I honestly did not expect to find myself challenging Amazon on their workers' rights record. But I remember at the start of this Parliament, one common question residents would ask me is, what can the Liberal Democrats actually do? What can we achieve? And whilst the Conservatives flounder, we are cracking on with being the real opposition that our country deserves. Our brilliant parliamentarians in both houses have had some major wins, including voting on electoral reform and getting a massive boost to the carers allowance of family carers. We're pressuring the government to stop sewage being pumped into our rivers, fighting against cruel cuts to PIP and international aid, pushing back against bus fare hikes and protecting our high streets. We are leading the campaign against national insurance hikes whilst championing our health services, GPs, hospices, pharmacies and walk-in centres. The Liberal Democrats are making a difference to where it matters to people. And believe me, people are taking notice. So instead of asking me now what the point of the third party is, more and more people are thanking us for the work that we've already accomplished. Now, Conference, it may look like we have aged 8 years. Well, listening to the Tories drone on and on, you probably would, wouldn't you? But I've been reliably informed we've only been here 8 months. So I think it's now time to take a bit of a step back, have a breath, and recognise some of the best moments and biggest wins that we've had over those last 8 months. Now, if I say your name, MPs, please do stand up, give a wave to the crowd, so you can bask in your glory for just a moment. But please don't say it for too long. Don't steal my thunder, please. Thank you. In Parliament, our MPs have had the chance to present some fantastic private members' bills, with Ros Savage and Max Wilkinson using the opportunity They have used the Opportunity Conference to address the climate catastrophe through the transformative Climate and Nature Bill and the innovative Sunshine Bill. Wendy Chamberlain's charity fundraising bill. Josh Babarunde's domestic abuse bill. Lord Clement Jones's AI public sector regulation bill. And our resident vet, Danny, pushing forward the animal welfare bill. It has a really good chance of becoming law and reinforcing our animal welfare standards. There have also been some fantastic 10-minute rule bills this Parliament, from Alistair Carmichael's Food Supply Chain Fairness Bill to James McCleary's Youth Mobility Scheme Bill. These both have attracted widespread coverage and praise. But Conference, none have been quite so impactful as Sarah Olney's bill on proportional representation. It successfully beat the Labour whips on first reading and secured us a debate in the Commons on PR. Let's take a look back at our MP's reaction on that one, shall we?
The ayes to the right, 138. The noes to the left, 136.
Now, conference, I want us to be serious for a moment, if that's okay. It's no secret that we like to talk about sewage in the Lib Dems. In fact, I know several of my colleagues have taken it just a step further. They've decided to don their wellies, grab their testing kits, hold their noses, and wade into the mess. But quite frankly, I have not met a Lib Dem who cares about sewage quite like Charlie Maynard does. His legal campaign on behalf of millions of residents to hold Thames Water to account has captured the attention of our national media, putting huge pressure on both the government and Thames Water to put customers first and the environment first. Conference, we've also had so many local victories. Ian Room's campaign to halt bus fare hikes, which has resulted in Stagecoach significantly reducing their proposed fare increase. Ian Sollum has successfully lobbied the DWP to ensure that job seekers in St Neots would no longer have to travel to Cambridge by securing work coaching services in the town's Citizens Advice Centre. David Chadwick has secured a banking hub for his constituents in the Swansea Valley. And if you thought one banking hub was good enough, just wait until you meet Steph. He has won his 3-year-long battle for a banking hub in Holt. But in classic Steph style, he was not content with that. He's just followed it up by securing a second one in North Walsham. Can you get more Lib Dem than that? Having 72 MPs has also meant we are far more active on the international stage, supporting liberalism around the world. In October, Anna Sabine travelled to Morocco, supporting 20 inspirational graduates of the African Liberal Network's mentoring programme. Pippa has made it to not one, but 2 COP summits. Our defence spokesperson, Helen, was joined by Monica and Ian for a trip to NATO in March. And Cam, Chris, Steve, Will, Ian and Lee have had the chance to visit Ukraine, meeting with parliamentarians and aid workers and even delivering humanitarian aid themselves. And who can forget Ed Davey making it into the top 40 not once, but twice with his charity single Love Is Enough with the Bath Philharmonic Young Carers Choir. But conference, I have to say, it hasn't all been victories and happy moments. Earlier this week, one of our colleagues decided to cross the floor and join the government benches. Not a proud moment. We are lucky, though, conference. After a stern word from the Chief Whip and the promise of a few dog treats, Jenny soon rejoined her rightful place. I wish I had more time to tell you about all of the incredible things that each and every one of our MPs has achieved. But if I did, I'd probably be still on this stage talking to you by the time we start Autumn Conference. So instead, I'm going to hand you over to the ever so wonderful Anna Sabine, MP for Frome and East Somerset.
I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Good evening, conference. It's wonderful to be here tonight. Now, in addition to all the incredible things we've been doing as MPs on our side of the House, we cannot forget the amazing work of our hard-working, passionate and dedicated Lib Dem Lords. Since July, we've added 3 brilliant new peers to the red benches, and one of these new Lords took their seat just last week. Let's take a look.
It's incredible, just walking down from the tube station. I've been here many times, often outside, but to be here on this day, the day I introduced into the Lords, and to take up my seat on behalf of the Liberal Democrats is a huge honour for me personally and for my family and friends who are going to be here as well in big numbers to see myself being introduced into the Lords today. What inspired me? I'm from a kind of working class background. I've been a youth worker, working in some of the most deprived areas of Sheffield in particular, but South Yorkshire for the last 25 years. So I've always cared passionately about giving young people the best start in life. I was first in my family to go to university. I went as a mature student. At university I discovered the Liberal Democrats, and the fact that no one would be enslaved by conformity really touched a nerve for me. It was something I really believed in. Human rights, civil liberties, internationalism was all the things, and I thought, hang on, this is a party that actually ticks all the boxes for me, and I joined the Liberal Democrats. Just being a city councillor was a huge achievement for me. I remember my uncle, who's now passed away, was so proud, and my dad had passed away in 1995, so he never saw any of what I achieved in life. You look at people like me, and we're not the type that normally get into public office, let alone the House of Lords. That's such a huge achievement for myself personally, but also from people from my background, the type of kind of upbringing I've had in Sheffield. My dad was a steel worker, my uncle was a steel worker, my granddad was a steel worker. They all came here from Kashmir after the Second World War, worked hard, and never did they ever think that either their sons or daughters or granddaughters or grandsons would ever hold any public office, let alone here in the mother of all parliaments in Westminster, the House of Lords.
I, Shafak, Lord Mohammed of Tinsley, do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Shafak Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. What have your first 10 days in the House of Lords been like?
It's been absolutely manic. Those of you that were at the swearing-in ceremony saw so many people turn up. So I had to manage all my family and friends and guests. I was trying to take them to the River restaurant, and I was so focused on taking them there that I turned around and looked at my family and friends and said, "Do you believe you just walked past us?" And I said, "No, who was it?" And he said, "Theresa May."
This will happen to you a lot in Parliament. So, Shaf, I think it's safe to say with 78 peers and 72 MPs, it's going to take you a while to get to know us all. You've already had a good start at meeting your colleagues in the House of Lords, but I wonder how you've done so far in getting to know colleagues on our side of the House.
Well, I know you're the MP for Frome and East Somerset.
Correct.
I know Daisy is the MP for St Albans. And what's that other guy called? Really popular, always trudging around with a wetsuit, always doing crazy stunts. It's always on the telly. What's he called?
Yeah, the really popular one, Josh Babarindi.
Ah, that's the one.
It looks like you've got quite a few to learn, Shaf.
I have. Look, since we're at conference, and I'm sure there's quite a few of them floating around at conference, is there any chance you can, introduce me to some of them?
Shaf, I thought you'd never ask. Welcome to Guess the MP Quiz.
Yay!
I've got a few clues for you for each one, but you might want to ask the audience for some help by shouting out the MP you think I might be referring to.
Look, we've got so many of them, so I'll need your help. So are you going to help me? Yeah! No, louder. Are you going to help me? Yeah! Yes! Come on, let's get on with it.
Okay, let's get started. So here's the new MPs you have to choose from. Our first MP was on the front cover of a publication with a worldwide circulation of 1.5 million.
Wow. I know we produce a lot of leaflets, but that does seem excessive.
Let me make it a bit easier for you. She was the leader of South Gloucestershire Council.
Anyone from Gloucestershire is going to help me? Who's this MP? Anyone? Go on.
Yay! Please welcome to the stage Claire Young, the MP for Thornbury and Yates.
So Claire, I've only got one question. How do I get on to the front cover of this publication with 1.5 million circulation? What is it?
Well, it's the ever so cool IBM annual report. So you need to get a computing degree.
Thank you very much, Claire. Round of applause for Claire Young. Now, the mother of one of our MPs was a secretary for Winston Churchill, but can you guess who?
I can't, but there's going to be some historians in here. It's Liberal Democrats, isn't it? So come on, anyone who can help me?
No? Well, it's
No?
one of our West Country contingent, although that doesn't much narrow it down for you.
Anyone? No?
No? Well, please welcome the MP for Newton Abbott, Martin Wrigley.
Yay! Martin, that was a great walk-on song. Did you choose it yourself?
Oh, I love it. It's a great song, one of my favourites. But it always makes me jump because it's also my ringtone. So every time it comes on the radio or on the music, I just go, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" But my mother was secretary to Churchill in number 10, exactly like that scene out of The Darkest Hour. So she had a great time and lots of stories, but I'm not allowed to tell anybody.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much, Martin Wrigley.
You know it looks so good tonight.
Our next MP shared a packet of minstrels with George Michael and has met Neil Armstrong.
Is there any George Michael fans in the house? Any
suggestions? No?
Any suggestions?
Well, this fierce campaigner was the first ever female MP in her seat, which was formerly held by Dominic Raab, is the Esher and Walton MP Monica Harding.
She's a killer queen, gunfighter, gentle, dynamite.
Monica, there's only one question. Whose packet of minstrels was it, yours or George's?
They were mine. We were in Leicester Square at the 30th anniversary filming of The Sound of Music, and I was standing in the minstrel queue, and as I turned round, George Michael was standing straight behind me, and I looked at him about to squeal, and he put his fingers to his lips and said, "Shh." And I met him actually in the interval, because The Sound of Music has an interval, and we shared a packet of minstrels.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Monica. I love these facts. Our next MP once auditioned to be on BBC's Any Dream Will Do, the TV show designed to find the lead role to star in Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Look, there's bound to be some West End musical fans in here, so anyone know who this MP is? Anyone?
No. Well, let me make it a bit easier for you. He shares a name with someone pretty senior in the party. Yes, you're correct. It's Edward Morello.
Yes, y'all, steady playing the ball. Too young to sip alcohol at the bar. I'm ready to jet, girls got the good ball.
Well, Ed, there's only one question. Do you still have ambitions to be a West End musical star?
Oh, I don't think I need a Technicolor Dreamcoat anymore. I'm already living the dream.
Hey! Thank you very much, Ed Morello.
Just to burn money. I'm trying to get this Federal Reserve money.
So it gets stranger and stranger. This MP had a narrow escape from their au pairing job when they realised their employer was a member of the Corsican Mafia.
Is there any Corsican Mafia hits? Hit men or women in the crowd?
No, let me make it a bit easier for you. She was our Lib Dem leader in the European Parliament. It's South Devon MP, Caroline Voden.
Caroline, do we have to fear the mafia? That's the question, isn't it?
Well, I think at some point you have to stop running from the mafia and you have to join the mafia, and I'm very proud to be part of the 72-strong Lib Dem mafia in Parliament.
Hey. Thank you very much, Caroline. Okay, we're on our final MP, and our final MP was once a Thunderbird.
I'm not a Thunderbird fan. There's bound to be some in this audience. Come on, anyone? Which MP's a Thunderbird fan?
If it helps you work it out, he used to be the managing director of a toy company.
There's only one toy maker that I know.
Please welcome to the stage Clive Jones.
all I'm going to say, Clive, is I'm loving the Thunderbirds 2 costumes. The yellow sash actually suits you.
I've never met a real live lord before. I'm only a Thunderbird.
Clive, what was it like to... Clive, what was it like to... Please stop doing it, Clive. What was it...
This is not part of the script.
What was it like to be a Thunderbird pilot, Clive?
It was an absolutely great job. Second only to being the first ever Liberal Democrat MP for Wokingham.
Whee!
So, Clive, if Jeff Tracy is the head of the Thunderbirds, who's the person behind your organisation?
Now I've got to be very careful here. We have an all-action hero, known for his bungee jumping, his Zumba classes, his paddle boarding. It's Ed Davey.
Hooray! Another round of applause for Clive. I wish, surely, I really do wish, I had time to introduce all 72 MPs this evening, but unfortunately, we don't.
Well, look, I'm glad I've got to know a few more of them. Anyway, it's really exciting to get back to work. But for now, I think it's time to welcome our next guest, Charlie Maynard. And beat that, Charlie.
Wait, Shaft, wait.
Thanks, sir.
I'm gonna fight 'em all.
I've got to stop giggling. Clive, that was just brilliant. And Anna Schaff, thanks for putting it on. It was fantastic. So yes, we learned a lot about all our colleagues. But most of all, you've got to stay in that for the rest of the day. And tomorrow, and Sunday. So conference. Back to the auto cue. So look, most of all, thank you all for being here and thank you for having me up here on stage. And I'm just so happy to be your MP for Witney and to be the first MP in Witney for 102 years. So thank you. And for the 72 of us, I would say that it's been a complete whirlwind. The last 8 months has been difficult in the best possible way, completely fascinating and challenging. And I've really thrown myself into everything this bizarre job has to offer. And I've campaigned for our rivers for a long time and worked with lots of local brilliant campaigners to do that. And now I'm in Parliament, I've really been able to do more. And I was lucky enough to find a way, almost by accident, in all honesty, to take the fight to Thames Water. And back in January, I was able to intervene in the High Court case, which was where Thames Water was seeking to put another £3 billion on top of the £20 billion they already have of unbelievably expensive debt, levelled on the backs of all of us as customers into the company, which was an incredibly bad idea for the 70,000 constituents I have in Witney, but also for the 16 million customers who are just being completely ripped off. And I had a lot of help in that. So inside the Thames Water catchment area, there are now a lot of Lib Dem MPs. And every single one of them, thank you all very much indeed, signed my intervention, and I also had help from all the campaigners locally and across the catchment, and also some brilliant lawyers who basically stuck their hand up and said, apparently you want to do something, we're here to help, we're free, we don't know you, but let's do it. And we argued the case that rather than kind of having Thames Water go into a deeper and deeper doom loop of debt, which is costing us lots of money in our water bills and isn't doing anything to fix our sewage treatment works and pipe networks, we should try and fix this. And so we've had a bit of a fight. We've been in the High Court, we've been in the Court of Appeals, and the hedge funds behind Thames Water and their lobbyists have thrown quite a lot at us, and we've just kept fighting. And that is what we need to do, because it's just totally unjust and unfair what's going on. And I'm thoroughly cross with Ofwat and DEFRA for letting them get away with it. And you know, going a bit broader, you know, fighting for things, I think, is what we as 72 want to do. And that goes broader even than that, because we've got elections coming up, and the Conservatives have managed to finagle various counties out of elections. So Surrey and Hampshire and East and West Sussex all don't have elections. So that means that they've got to put up with Conservatives for another year. Really bad, really undemocratic. But there's some good news out there. So we have the opportunity to win in a lot more places still. So guess what I'm going to start with? Oxfordshire, Cambridgeshire, Gloucestershire, Buckinghamshire, Devon, Cornwall, and Wiltshire. And closer to home here, we've set our sights on electing a Lib Dem mayor in Hull and East Yorkshire. So, Mike Ross, you're somewhere out there. Well done. This is the man who's going at it. The country needs more Lib Dems, and they need us to fight. And they need us to fight, yes, for our water, but they also need us to fight for our social care and giving carers the help they deserve. And they need to help on affordable housing, and they need to help on special education needs, and they need to, yes, of course, help on potholes, and they need to help our elderly. And those are all things that we really need to kind of crack into, and yes, work our socks off, work our sandals off, but we need to deliver for our communities. That's why we're here, and that's what we've got to focus on doing. And the best way we can do that is by helping the people who are standing, helping them win. So whoever is now in this room a candidate, please can you stand up? Don't be shy. So have a good look, because these are the people you need to help. And between now and polling day, and it's May 1, so it's pretty close, every one of us needs to be doing everything that we can do to get these people elected. And that is, you know, the usual things. It is knocking on doors, number one. It is leafleting, it's phone banking, it's blue letter writing, it's any which way you can help, please, please help. And, you know, that's urging and that's begging. And I mean that, because we have made a huge difference and thank you again for getting the 72 of us to where we are, and we'll do all we can, but we have to now go further, and that is on us, each of us. Okay, now, on that theme, I'd like to welcome to the stage a councillor who has worked so hard to represent her hometown. She's the leader of the Barnsley Liberal Democrats, and she's the chair of the Yorkshire and Humber Lib Dems. It's Hannah Kitching.
When everyone believes you.
Well done.
What's that like? I'm so sick of running as fast as I can.
Conference. Good evening. Welcome to Harogate, and indeed, welcome to Yorkshire. I am the chair of Yorkshire and Humber Liberal Democrats, and it is a real pleasure to see so many of you here in a place that is once again represented by a Liberal Democrat MP. But being the chair of the finest region in England is only one of the many, mostly voluntary hats that I wear in this party. I'm also the vice chair of the English Party, a member of our Federal Conference Committee, a Penistone Town Councillor, a Barnsley Borough Councillor for my home ward of Penistone West, the leader of the Barnsley Liberal Democrats, and also the leader of the opposition on Barnsley Council. That is a lot of unpaid jobs. As anyone who knows me knows, I really just like winning things. I'm absolutely terrible at sports, so I indulge my competitive streak by fighting elections instead, and I always play to win. I'm at my happiest as a party volunteer when I'm outside, pounding the streets, pushing leaflets through letterboxes, or knocking on doors with a fantastic team of local campaigners. And everything else that I do in the party, every committee that I sit on, every long Zoom meeting I attend, every report I write, is all with one goal, of getting more Liberal Democrats elected. So you can imagine, I was really quite happy last July when we elected a record 72 Liberal Democrat MPs. Now, here in Yorkshire, we have a relatively quiet round of local elections this year because we are ahead of the curve. We've already replaced all of our county councils with unitary authorities, which are mostly on a fallow year. But there is a notable exception, a really big, really exciting opportunity for the Lib Dems in Yorkshire. And it is the inaugural Harogate Town Council elections. Now, I don't know if that's what you were all thinking of, because it is only half a joke, because it is actually happening. Of course, you're in Harrogate. If you have any time this weekend spare at all, go down to the office, deliver a round for them. They'll be very pleased. But I do know that Team Harrogate have got that one in hand, and town councils don't really require the collective campaigning might of our campaigning force and expertise. But getting a combined authority mayor elected absolutely does. On May the 1st, we will be looking to make history in Yorkshire by electing the first ever Liberal Democrat mayor for Hull and East Yorkshire with our fantastic candidate, Councillor Mike Ross. You're going to get the opportunity to hear properly from Mike tomorrow. So for now, let's just give him another encouraging round of applause. He's blushing now, but he needs to get used to it, because if Mike wins that election, he will have a really, really important job. He will get to make decisions and spend money in a way that has the potential to improve the lives of hundreds and thousands of people. And that's the point of it all, isn't it? We don't win elections to win an argument. We win elections to improve people's lives. We all know that elected Liberal Democrats at every single level make decisions and campaign for actions that improve people's lives. We believe that unlike that top-down, we-know-best attitude of the other parties, that those decisions should be made close to and in collaboration with the communities that they impact. That's one of the key things that makes me a Liberal Democrat. And it's something that I look to do every day as the leader of the opposition on Barnsley Council. Now, that is not a big or powerful job. It can be frustrating, but also very rewarding. We spend most of our time in our communities, talking to residents, asking their views, and trying to solve their problems. But we also do the work in the Labour-led town hall, because Labour have run Barnsley Council since the start of time. Challenging, scrutinising, amending their proposals with our own ideas. Now, do we get voted down every single time? Yes, we do. Do some of our ideas get implemented anyway, a little while later? Yes, they do. Do we take every single win and every single rejection, put it on a leaflet, and shove it through thousands of doors? Yes, we do. We only have a group of 11, but we are punching above our weight. And all that hard work is worth it, because I believe that Barnsley is better with a Liberal Democrat opposition. So if any of you want to get more Lib Dems elected, you've got to make it happen. You've got to get out of this auditorium, spend your weekend attending training from some of the best campaigners in our party. Find out where your nearest elections are in May. I would be especially pleased if it is in Hull and East Yorkshire. Go and deliver those leaflets and knock on those doors. That's how we win. And now, I'd like to introduce someone that you might have all heard of. That's our wonderful MP from Eastbourne, Josh Babrinde.
Magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
Conference, the world needs more Hannah Kitchings, does it not? The world also needs more Liberal Democrats, conference, don't you agree? And the world needs more Eastbourne sun, wouldn't you agree? That was not in the auto cue, but I couldn't resist. Now, based on how well we performed in 2024, with Ed leading us to our best local election results in a generation and our best general election result in a century, we have set a high bar for 2025. And it's critical that we set ambitions that are so high, because the upcoming local elections will be the most consequential ones that I have ever known. Why? Because it's not just politicians who are on the ballot paper, conference. It's public services, it's power, and it's populism that's on the ballot paper. On public services, our NHS, our schools, our police have been driven into the ground by the Conservatives after a decade of neglect. And locally, in my patch, for example, our Tory County Council is shutting services for people with learning disabilities and slashing dementia support for the elderly. It's no wonder that they applied to cancel our elections this year. But people who are threatened by the cuts that I just mentioned and cuts that are happening across the country are relying on us Liberal Democrats to fight for them this May. Something else that's on the ballot paper, as I said, is power, conference. I'm a Liberal because I believe that power and cash should be dispensed closest to the individuals and communities it's meant to serve. Yet we're facing a Labour, Conservative, local government power grab set to snatch power away from our communities with their local government reforms. We must elect Liberal Democrat councillors and mayors this May so that this stitch-up can be resisted, kicking and screaming. And populism is on the ballot paper, conference. We're living through the rise of forces who seek to whip up hate in our communities and who take shameless advantage of people's fears. What's worse is that Labour and the Conservatives are pandering to that week after week after week. But I have hope. I have hope because I know that Liberal Democrats are the antidote to this. And I'm reminded of being trailed on the doorsteps by Raphael Baer of The Guardian a few months back in Eastbourne. And Raphael captured interactions like that between myself and Sheila, a resident from the estate that I was born and bred on. And he wrote this of that interaction. It's a close call. Reform or Liberal Democrat? Sheila likes what Nigel Farage has to say. Boo. Pressed to choose, she declares her decision by pointing emphatically at the young man standing on her doorstep, holding a stack of orange fringed flyers. Sheila's granddaughter told her about the Liberal Democrats' work campaigning to protect imperiled services at Eastbourne Hospital. Raphael then goes on to write the most apt line of the piece. He says, inspired by what he saw from Liberal Democrat campaigning, that ground-level activism is the precision instrument that can reach people who would otherwise rally to Farage's siren. That is us, conference. Our community campaigning, building trust by listening and acting, is what inoculates our communities against populist poison. And so while Farage and Musk may continue their public courtship display to unlock a 100 million donation, we are told, we know, as Liberal Democrats, that you can't simply buy elections. You can't simply buy trust. You cannot simply buy relationships. You've got to do the work. But if you do want to make a donation, Treasurer Tilly will be on the door as you go out. But you in this hall are doing that work. I keep getting distracted by Clive in his Thunderbirds app. But we must not falter, because every single contest at every level of government powers our Liberal mission to protect our public services, to decentralise power, and to defeat populism. And every leaflet delivered, every door knocked on, every envelope stuffed brings us that much closer to succeeding in that mission. So I have a question for you, conference. Are you ready to redouble your efforts to have that fight? Yes! I said, are we ready? Yes! Then let's damn well do it. Thank you, conference. Thank you for everything that you do. You're amazing.
My life, it'll change for the better.